Hey everybody, Chris here from Rasayana. I'm so happy you signed up for my mini training of Art of Abhyanga, where I wanted to give you a little preview of some of the things that we're going to talk about in more detail in October during our training together. So to give you a little background about me, I am a licensed massage therapist and Ayurvedic health counselor who has a private practice in the Boston area called Rasayana. And I've been practicing Ayurveda and the massage and body work within this system for over 12 years professionally. And before doing that, I worked in orthopedics as a medical and research assistant and pursuing a path at that time that would take me to med school. But I, alas, did not go to medical school and eventually came across a different kind of healing, which is what I'm really excited to start sharing with all of you. Because I feel like now in 2019, we have, I think, the greatest need more than ever for integrative approaches to our health and well-being. That there seems to be so much divisiveness in our world, and people are suffering. People are in pain. People are not sleeping well. People are suffering from chronic inflammation and autoimmune challenges, as well as mental disorders like depression and anxiety. So, there really is the time to be more open to the wisdom of these ancient cultures and traditions. And Ayurveda is one of them. And it's the medical system of India, the traditional medical system, that is based in nature. It's both a medical system with 8 different branches of medicine and a spiritual system, a guide to daily living, if you will. And so when we talk about how to integrate other approaches of medicine with our more Western allopathic view, it can get tricky. When we talk about integrating a culture into others, it can be a bit challenging. So I'm going to do my best in respecting that tradition and sharing with all of you how to do that in your own personal practices, whether you're a massage therapist or perhaps a yoga instructor or a nurse or physical therapist perhaps. If you work in the healing arts, if you work with the public in healing, then this training is going to be helpful for you. And so will the knowledge of Ayurveda, because it's a system of medicine based in nature. So nothing is forced. And there are different ways of approaching it. There's this top-down approach, which uses spirituality, and that already has kind of been, I'll say the seedlings have been sprouting here in the West, with yoga having become so popular and familiar here. People are familiar with the yoga asana in terms of taking care of their bodies, and certainly using things like mantra and meditation and other mind-body practices in the yogic system of spirituality to come from this real subtle realm in Ayurvedic medicine, that of the spirit, of the soul. That approach to healing has already found its way here in the West with yoga and a lot of Buddhist traditions and such becoming more familiar in our daily lives. And now getting deeper into healing, it's become again that much more urgent, and so other than coming from this top-down approach through the soul, through the spirit, which require time and discipline and a really good guide and teacher, you can do a bottom-up approach. And this is where I really feel like right now the integration of Ayurveda and Western medicine can best serve the general public that you're working with. that coming from the bottom up in this system in Ayurveda, you're coming through the gross realm. So you're working through the body's tissues themselves. You're working with people's individual doshas or unique mind-body types. You're working with the muscle, with the fat, with the connective tissue, with the nervous tissue, with the digestive tissue, every kind of tissue there is. That is the ground up, coming through the gross realm of healing in Ayurvedic medicine. And what is wonderful about these treatments is that they're very natural. And so oftentimes, both in the diagnostics and the therapeutics, time is a major consideration. The time of year, the time or stage of that person's life, and the time of really the 24-hour cycle itself, which I'll get more in detail with in the live training in October. But for today, I just want to let you know that there are these two different ways of approaching healing in the system of Ayurveda, either through the subtle, this top-down approach, coming through the soul and the spirit, working with the mind, or coming from the bottom up with this more gross application through the body and its tissues. And that's where, as a body worker, I can really show you my years of experience and expertise and how to apply Western techniques in an informed and intelligent way to benefit from the wisdom of Ayurveda, and how to keep the traditions of Ayurveda and the integrity of these systems in modern day times, because there's room for both, and Ayurveda is a very accommodating system. And so it mainly uses good old common sense and timing about when it's appropriate to eat, rest, and play. And so through that gross channel of body work and massage is where I'll be able to really teach you how to help your clients and patients build functional strength in the body and tissues, how they can build a more stable energy level and immune system, and how to manage pain in a very natural way. So often using information around these natural times of day and natural cycles in our physiology, we can really unlock our healing, self-healing potential, and do so in a very safe way, a very safe, natural way. So because the system is based in nature, there really is no religious dogma here. So you can practice Ayurveda and maintain your own spiritual beliefs. You can see an Ayurvedic practitioner and get acupuncture and go to the chiropractor and see your general practitioner with really no interference. It's about an integrative approach. And I'm really looking forward to sharing with you how to integrate Ayurveda into your personal and professional lives, and how you can bring that impact and that healing into your communities, and then eventually the world, right? So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you today. If you want to know more, you can begin flexing that library card, and I recommend, these are some of my favorite titles which I wanted to share with you today. For the general layperson, I would say that this book by Dr. Vasant Lad, Ayurveda, The Science of Self-Healing, this is a really great introduction to those completely unfamiliar with Ayurveda, yoga, and medicine in general. If you just want to get a sense of the cultural foundation and philosophy, where this beautiful system comes from, this is a wonderful, reliable book to do that with. If you're interested in more of the science persuasion, more of the academic rigor of peer-reviewed journals and such, then you may want to read books by Dr. John Douillard. This is one of my favorites, The 3-Season Diet. Dr. Douillard is a Westerner who is a holistic practitioner, also an Ayurvedic physician, and so he's done a really good job here of backing up what the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda and yoga have always known with the modern science that is being done, and finding those correlates and how to lose weight, beat food cravings naturally, and really optimize your physical performance and your mental performance by eating seasonally. So that's a great book to start with. For people who want to start expanding their family for women's health and mamas to be, I highly recommend Margaret Bachman's, or Margot Bachman, excuse me, Yoga Mama, Yoga Baby. This is a wonderful step-by-step book that will guide women through their preconception and birth plan according to Ayurveda, using natural remedies and self-care practices from yoga. Another one of my favorites is by Acharya Shunya, called Ayurveda Lifestyle Wisdom. I find this one is one of my favorites. I find it is very sensual, as the system of Ayurveda is. It's all about the sense organs and the information coming through them. And she's got a lot of wonderful personal stories that she shares about growing up in India and applying these lessons, and really just how to optimize your health and live your life more beautifully. And it's just a lovely written book, so I really like that. She's also got a lot of great recommendations about skincare and how to apply natural beauty remedies, which is not necessarily my jam, but for some people they find that really appealing, and so certainly that rejuvenative aspect of Ayurveda is covered well in her book. And then lastly for today, one of my favorite cookbooks is by New York author and restaurateur Divya Alter, What to Eat for How You Feel. This is an Ayurvedic guide to seasonal eating, and I love the recipes in here. The food is fantastic. I'm a bit of a foodie, I have to say. My Kapha constitution always has a strong relationship to food, and it's just a really wonderful book for beginning your personal food practice with Ayurveda and how to use your food as medicine. So I'm hoping that that is a nice flavor to some of the things we're going to talk about in more detail in the live training. So welcome. I'm so happy you've joined me, and I look forward to sharing more with you. Bye now.